Imagine running a multi-million dollar company with just you and 200 employees who work 24/7, never take vacation, cost a fraction of human salaries, and get smarter every single day. That sounds impossible, right? Well, it's already happening. And in the next 2 to 3 years, this is going to be available to businesses of any size, including yours. So here's a story that is going to change how you think about building your business. Recently, I came across an interview with someone who leads one of the most advanced AI companies in the world. This is someone who was the head of AI at eBay, Amazon, and Meta. He has really great credentials, real experience at the highest levels. And in this interview, he says something that stopped me in the tracks. He talked about how they are already seeing companies raise millions in funding, companies that are essentially run by one person and hundreds of AI agents. The entrepreneur sets the strategy and the agents execute everything else. I had to pause the interview really and really let me sink in on what I was really listening to. Because what he was describing wasn't some far off future. This is happening right now. The technology exists, is being refined and tested as we speak. Again, it's not there yet in terms of like implementing it right away, but people are using it and it's getting refined and refined and getting better. So here's what really hit me with this. Most entrepreneurs have no idea this shift is coming. They're still stuck thinking about, software the old way, struggling with integrations, drowning into technical skills, technical details that they need to know, becoming technicians instead of really visionaries, which is kind of like the whole purpose of being an entrepreneur, right? But the ones who understand what's coming, those are the ones who are going to have a massive competitive advantage. So today, I want to prepare your mind for what I'm calling the shift to agentic AI. We're heading towards a transition from a SaaS-based business we know today, right, to something called agentic AI systems. I know that might sound like jargon to you, but stay with me with this one. By the end of this episode, you are going to understand exactly what this means, how to position yourself for it, and why this is actually incredibly exciting for entrepreneurs like you. And if you want to dive deeper into preparing your business for AI transformation after this episode, head over to my website, marianadalto.com. I've got resources, guides, and strategy sessions designed specifically for business owners who want to stay ahead of this curve. But first, let's talk about what's actually changing. Okay, so let's start with the big picture. I want you to understand the paradigm shift that is coming because you see it, you once you see it, then you can't unsee it. And that is a great thing. So the way we think about building business systems is about to change completely. And this is a big statement. The way we think about building business systems is about to change completely. Right now, today, most of us are stuck in what I call technology first thinking. So, what does that mean? It means we're constantly building linear workflows. We're creating step by step processes. We're spending hours, sometimes days, figuring it out um, to make different software tools talk to each other. We're the ones who have to think for the computer, right? We tell it, do this step, then do that step, then if this happens, do the other thing. And honestly, it's exhausting. We get bogged down in technical details. We're drowning in software configurations, right? We're trying to figure out which CRM integrates with which email platform, which then connects to a payment processor. And, wait, we need also Zapier, a app for that because that's how you connect things. You know what I'm talking about, I'm hoping, right? So The software ends up dictating how we solve our business problems. We twist our processes to fit the limitations of the tools we're using. And we, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we end up becoming technicians instead of strategists. But here is where we're heading. In the next few years, we're going to shift to something called role oriented development. And this is going to change everything. Instead of designing workflows, we're going to design strategies. Instead of managing a bunch of disconnected tools, we're going to recruit and manage AI agents. Think about that for a second. Instead of spending your time figuring out how to make software work, you're going to spend your time on what you're actually good at, which is strategic thinking, creative problem solving, innovation, whatever you do that that's why you're doing the business and you have the business that you have. So the entrepreneur gets to return to what they do best. And here is what really excites me: your domain expertise, your knowledge of your industry, of your customers, your unique business. That becomes more valuable than the technical expertise. So let me say this again, because it is important. Your expertise in your field becomes more valuable than knowing how to code or configure software. So, what's the fundamental shift here then? So, let me break it down. We're moving from task oriented to role oriented thinking. We're going from managing workflows to managing strategies. We're going from managing processes to managing agents, and from being a technician to being an orchestrator. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, Mariana, this sounds too good to be true. When is this actually happening? And here's the thing: it's been already built right now. The technology exists. It's being refined and tested. So that's why I say within 2 to 3 years, this is going to start becoming mainstream for business like yours. When I started talking about agencies at the beginning of this year, I said this was, and everyone was saying this is the year of agents. It has been, but it hasn't evolved the way we thought it would be in 2025. So, the estimation is that within 2 to 3 years, this is going to start becoming more mainstream for all of us. And this is why you need to start shifting your mindset today. Remember, when the iPhone launched in 2027, then the App Store came in 2000. Hold on. The iPhone launched in 2007, 2007. And then the App Store came in 2008, so a year later. There were entrepreneurs who immediately understood what mobile first meant. They started thinking differently right away. They built businesses that were designed for mobile from the ground up. And then there were businesses that waited. They said, oh, well, I will add a mobile version of our website eventually, right? They waited to see how this whole mobile thing would play out. So guess which group won? I don't think I need to tell you the answer for that. So this is that kind of moment. The entrepreneurs who start thinking in terms of agents and strategies today. Even though the tools aren't quite mainstream yet, those are going to be the people leading their industries in 3 years. That's why you need to start thinking about this today. So that's the paradigm shift. That's the big picture. Now let's get into the details of it. So you might be wondering, what exactly is an AI agent? And I keep hearing this term everywhere, right? And you are right to be confused, because honestly, the term AI agent is being thrown around really loosely right now. Every marketer is calling their chatbots an agent, and it's making things very confusing. So let me give you the real definition of what an AI agent is. An AI agent is a system that has three things: a reasoning engine, memory, and tools. So let's break that down. The reasoning engine means it can think through problems. It doesn't just respond with pre programmed answers, it actually reasons through what you're asking and figure out the best approach. The memory piece means it remembers context. It remembers your previous conversations, your preferences, your business rules. It learns over time. And the third one, we talked about tools. And that means it can actually do things. Agents can actually do things. It can take action. It can access your calendar, update your CRM system, send emails, analyze data, generate reports, whatever tools you give it access to. So here is the key distinction of this. A chatbot just answers questions. An AI agent reasons, remembers, and take action. And that's a very important difference. Okay? Now, here's what you need to understand. Not all agents are the same. There's actually an evolution happening in how these agents are being developed, and understanding this landscape will help you prepare for what's coming. So let me walk you through 5 types of agents that they are emerging. Let's start with number 1, which is the singleton agents. These are single specialized agents that they focus on one task. Think of them as the specialists on your team. You might have a single agent that handles customer service questions about one specific product line, or one that manages your appointment scheduling, or one that handles maybe your social media responses. They are really good at one thing. They are narrow but deep, and they are great for specific, well-defined functions in your business. Then we have the orchestrator agents. Now, this is where things get interesting. An orchestrator agent is like a project manager. It manages multiple specialist agents, right, working together. It shares memory across the entire team, and it coordinates who does what, right, within the agents. So instead of you having to manually connect different tools and agents, the orchestrator will figure out which specialist agent could handle each part of the task. It's like having a chief of staff who delegates to your team. This is where the real power starts to emerge. Now, let's go to the third type of agent, which is the strategist agent. These are agents that don't just execute, they plan first. Before they do anything, they develop a strategy. They think through the problem, create an approach, and then execute. And here is why this matters. Because they create strategies, you can actually see their reasoning when they create those strategies. And if something goes wrong, you can look at that strategy they develop and say, wait a second, I see where we went off track. Don't do that again. Here's a better approach, right? Here where your knowledge comes in, right? So you can train them, educate them, give them feedback. It's like the same thing that you would do with an employee, basically. The fourth agent is the guardian and inspector agents. Think of these as your quality control and security team. The guardian agents or the bodyguard agents keep your data safe. They control access. They make sure sensitive information only goes to people who should see it. They enforce your privacy policies. These inspector agents make sure work follows your rules and your brand guidelines. Let me give you an example. You could have an inspector that makes sure every piece of content generated matches your brand voice, uses your approved terminology, and is appropriate for your target audience. These agents are about to maintaining standards and protecting your business. That's kind of like their job. Then the fifth one is the evolver agents. These are agents that experiment and improve themselves over time. They test multiple approaches automatically. They might try different reasoning strategies, use different AI models, or organize workflows in different ways. Then they measure what works best and evolve towards a better performance, right? So early results are showing that these evolver agents can achieve 25% better performance than an even a skilled human that does the same task. And they do it faster. So this technology is being tested right now in 2025, and it keeps improving. So that is the landscape of AI agents. And here's what you need to know now. These systems are being built right now. And, as I mentioned earlier, they're getting better and they are refining them, right? They're not, I think, quite ready yet for mainstream, but they are getting way better than when we started with agents. And companies like AI Explain, which is led by Hassan Swaf, the former of the AI at eBay and Amazon and Meta, they are the ones who are building these platforms. They have already over 80,000 agents in different marketplaces. Some are public, some are private, but they all exist. 80,000 agents. So imagine how much it has been built so far and people are using it, right? And within these 2 to 3 years, you're going to start seeing these agent systems become accessible to businesses for all sizes, including yours. So the question isn't if this is coming. The question is, are you preparing your mindset for it now? Okay. So now you're probably thinking, okay, Mariana, I get it. AI agents are coming. But what does that mean for me? What's my role in all of this? And this is the part that I find the most exciting because I think you're going to love where we're heading with this. Your job as an entrepreneur is about to get a lot more interesting. So let me paint you a picture of what your role will actually look like in this agent-driven future. You're going to have 4 core responsibilities. First, you're gonna strategize outcomes. So this is where you define what you want to achieve. You set the vision and the direction. You focus on the why and the what, not the how. Think about that for a second, because that's super interesting. You don't have to figure out the how to make it happen at a technical level. You just need to be clear about what success looks like. And this is what a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck on, the how. Like, they might have amazing vision on what they can get done, but the how keep them stuck, keep them like not moving forward, keep them not making the revenue that they could potentially do, because the how is the block in their mindset on how to keep moving forward. So this is going to be a big shift for all of you, the ones that they get stuck on the how, the technical piece of it, the technical level of it. So what problems are you solving? Who are you solving those problems for? What does the end result need to be? This is what you need to think about. This is your unique contribution. This is where your creativity, your vision, your understanding of your customers, that is where all that comes into play. Second, it's organize and orchestrate your agents. That's going to be your other job. This is where you get to be the architect. You decide how to structure your agent team. Should they work as a swarm, all doing similar things in parallel? Should they be organized hierarchically with specialists reporting to managers? Should they be structured as maybe collaboration teams? You design the system architecture. That's your business, right? So you design how you want your business to be run. You decide who's responsible for what. You determine how information flows. And I love this metaphor. And think of yourself as a conductor orchestrating a symphony, right? You're not playing every instrument. You're making sure all the instruments work together to create something beautiful. That's why you are the conductor. Okay. So that is what your agents are going to do. Then the third job will be that you need to do is going to be to train your agents. And this is where your domain expertise becomes incredible valuable, right? And this is where you're going to love it because this is why you launch your business in the first place. You provide examples of how you will approach problems. You share your methodology. You give them your frameworks. When they make mistakes, you correct them and guide the improvements that needs to get done, right? So your knowledge, all those years of experience that you have in your industry, that becomes the training data for your agents. And here is what is cool. You're not writing code to do this. You're just explaining things the way you would do to a smart new employee. Here is how I think about this problem. Here's what I would do first. Here is what to watch out for. The expertise you have, that is gold in this new world. And again, I'm telling you, you're going to love this new phase in entrepreneurship. And fourth, refine and oversee evolution. Your job is to monitor performance and results. Identify what's working and what isn't. Define the success metrics, what fitness looks like in your system. And then continuously improve. Prune what's not working, amplify what is it that, that it's working. Guide the evolution of your system. You're not in the weeds managing every single little task anymore, and this is beautiful. You're overseeing the big picture and making strategic adjustments. Now, let me tell you what this actually means for you day-to-day life. You get back to doing what humans do best, which is strategy, innovation, creativity, and problem solving. No more drowning in software configurations. No more spending 3 hours trying to figure out what Zapier integration broke that doesn't work anymore. No more needing a computer science degree to understand API documentation. You can focus on solving bigger problems that you could before. But here's the truth. Right now, most entrepreneurs are spending 70% of their time on technical execution and maybe 30% on strategy. In this agent-driven future, that flips. You will spend 70% of your time on strategy and vision, and the agents will handle the execution. Isn't that beautiful? And this is the liberation that I'm talking about. Your expertise is in your domain. That becomes more valuable than the technical skills. You don't need to become a programmer. You don't need to become a better strategist. You do actually need to become a better strategist because actually that's what your new role is going to be. You're going to become a better leader, a better visionary for your business. This is going to be your new role and how you're going to start working differently. And honestly, that's the most exciting part of it, right? Now, you might be wondering about the business model here, like how will you do this? So where do these agents come from? Do I have to build them myself? How does this actually work? And that's a great question. So let me explain the emerging agent economy because this is real fascinating. There are 3 roles that are emerging in this new landscape. First, we have the agent builders. So those are the specialists. These are people who are building individual expert agents. They are creating highly specialized agents for specific tasks, and then they license those in the marketplace, right? So someone might build an incredible agent that handles, let's say, appointment scheduling for medical practices. They put it in a marketplace, and whenever a medical practice uses that agent, the builder earns revenue. These builders need deep technical skill plus domain expertise to do that. They are the ones creating the tools that the rest of us will be using. The second is you have the orchestration designers, which are the architects. So these are people building complex systems by combining existing agents. They are not building the individual agents from scratch. They're talking, they're gonna be taking these agents that they already built, that they already exist, and create unique workflows and solutions with all these agents. They are basically the system designers of the future. They understand how differentiate agents that can work together. That's how um, that will be their job. They are created about how to solve complex problems using a combination of existing capabilities. So this requires strategic thinking and a good understanding of what agents can do. And the third one, you have strategic users. And this is where most entrepreneurs will fit. This is about recruiting and combining existing agents, paying to use pre-built orchestrations, focusing on business strategy and outcomes. You're not building the agents from scratch. You're not even necessarily designing the complex orchestrations either. You're hiring the right agents and organizing them to solve your specific business problems. Think about the way you would hire a contractor today. You need a website, you hire a website designer. You need bookkeeping, you hire a bookkeeper. You need copywriting, you hire a copywriter. In the agent economy, it will be similar, except it is faster, it's more scalable, and dramatically less expensive. Now, here's a reality for most entrepreneurs listening to this. You're going to be in the third category. You're going to be the one recruiting and orchestrating existing agents. Your job is to know what agents to hire and how to organize them for your unique business needs, right? That's kind of like, that's where the thinking comes in and the strategy comes in. And that's actually perfect because your value isn't in building the technology. Your value is your strategic vision for your business and your deep understanding of your customers. And so what already exists in this space right now? So there are marketplaces with thousands of specialized agents. There are pre-built orchestrations for common business functions. There are revenue sharing models where the person who built an agent can get paid when you use it, similar to like how an app store work, kind of like a similar structure like that. This infrastructure is being built right now, right? And here's what it's possible. One person could run a business funded company with, let's say, 200 agents. And this is not theory. There are companies already doing this, raising millions in fundings with exactly this model. You have the owner, and then you have the agents running the business. Of course, you need to have the right strategy to get that going, but it's already happening. The gap between having an idea and executing on it is shrinking dramatically. Think about what that means for you. What could you build if you had access to 200 specialists working 24/7 for a fraction of the cost of human employees? That is the opportunity we're looking for. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of this show, and I want to leave you with the most important part. How do you actually future-proof yourself for this shift? Because look, we can talk about what's coming, but the real question is, what do you do about it now, today? So let me tell you what's in the horizon. Innovation speed is going to continue to accelerate. We're moving from asking what's possible today to asking what could be possible. The gap between dreaming something and building it is going to shrink from months to weeks to days, maybe even hours. So think about that. The main thing holding back most entrepreneurs isn't ideas. That's always, entrepreneurs always have tons of ideas. It is the execution of it. It is the time and the resources required to bring that idea to life. So what happens when that barrier almost disappears? So how do you secure your value in this new world now? So let me give you three key principles for this. First, entrepreneurial mindset beats technical skills. That's the principle number one. 20 years ago, everyone said you need to learn code. And yeah, that was valuable for a while, but the future isn't about everyone becoming programmers. The future is about everyone becoming entrepreneurial. What does that mean? Well, it means being able to see opportunities, being able to think strategically, being able to be comfortable with this experimentation, being willing to try new approaches, being adaptable, right? Those are the skills that are going to matter. Second, your domain expertise is your superpower now. And that's what we're talking about. And this is the best thing ever. Your deep knowledge of your industry, your understanding of your customer problems, your insights into what works and what doesn't, your experience navigating your specific market, that becomes the training for your agents. The agents can handle the execution, but they need your strategic guidance. They need your domain knowledge. They need your wisdom about what actually matters in your field. That expertise you've been building for years, that is not going away. If anything, it becomes more valuable than ever. And the third one is dreamers will win in this new phase. This is my favorite part. The gap between vision and reality is shrinking. Bold ideas can become reality almost overnight. The people who are willing to dream big, to imagine what could be, those are the people who are going to shape this new landscape. There's a quote from Robin Williams that says, you're only given a little spark of madness, but you must not lose it. So hold on to that spark. That crazy idea you have, that business you've been wanting to build but thought was too complicated, that innovation you've been imagining, in this new world, the barriers to making it real are getting lower and lower. So here's the bottom line. This shift isn't about humans becoming obsolete, not at all. It's not about AI replacing us. No, no, and no. It's about humans getting to do what we do best, what do best, basically, which is strategy, which is creativity, innovation, vision, empathy, understanding what people actually need and care about. Those human capabilities, those are where we add value. And honestly, those are the fun parts anyway. Who wants to spend their time configuring CRM fields and building Zapier workflows when you could be solving real problems and creating real value for people? That's actually what drives us as business owners, as entrepreneurs. Okay, let's wrap this up. Here's what we covered today. A major shift is coming in how we build and run businesses. We're going to be moving from SaaS-based workflows to agent-driven strategies. Again, SaaS isn't going anyway, and it isn't going away at all. It's becoming the kind of like the infrastructure layer, the foundation. But agents are going to be how we actually interact with technology and get things done. And this is preparing you for 2 to 3 years from now. But the mindset shift, that needs to happen today. So here are your action steps coming out of this show. Number 1, start thinking in roles and strategies instead of tasks and workflows. Practice this now. When are you solving a problem in your business? Ask yourself, if I could just hire the perfect person for this, what would be their role? What would I tell them to accomplish? Versus what's the step-by-step process to do this? Number 2, build your strategic thinking muscle. Read about business strategy, practice thinking at a higher level, work on your ability to set vision and direction. Those skills are what is going to matter most. And then the third one, you need to stay curious about these agent platforms that are emerging. You need to keep an eye on companies like AI Explain, the one led by Hassan Swaf or something like that. He's the head of AI. He used to be the head of AI for eBay and Amazon and Meta. These platforms are where this technology is being built and refined and refined, and they're getting better and better. So you don't have to go deep on the technical side of it. This is not where your job is. You just need to stay aware of what's happening and stay informed. And number 4, identify one area in your business where you could test this new way of thinking. Where could you shift from managing the process to defining the strategy? Even if you're not using AI agents yet, you can start practicing this mindset. Okay, so this is my final thought for today. The entrepreneurs who understand this shift now, who start preparing their mindset today, they're going to be the ones leading their industries in 3 years. So don't wait until everyone else figures it out. Start now. Start thinking differently now. Start positioning yourself now. Because the future, it's being built right now, and you get to decide whether you are going to be ready for it or not. So if you want to help preparing your business for this AI transformation, you can head over to my website, marianadalto.com. I've got resources, strategy guides, and ways we can work together to make sure you're positioned for what's coming. And if you found this episode valuable, I would request that you could, suggest maybe that you share it with another entrepreneur who maybe needs to hear this, to be informed, to be aware of what's coming in this new paradigm shift. Okay? Well, thanks again for listening, and I will see you in my next episode.